It was just after 4:30 this morning when the Associated Press officially called the race for former President Donald Trump a decisive victory and a historic victory. Trump is second only to Grover Cleveland, back in 1884, to be elected to 2 non-consecutive terms. He is the oldest person elected president in America at 78 years old. He is also the first convicted felon to hold the country's highest office, with 3 other ongoing criminal cases that are almost certainly going to be dropped due to the Department of Justice policy that they're not going to prosecute a sitting president.
We overcame obstacles that nobody thought possible, and it is now clear that we've achieved the most incredible political thing. Look what happened. Is this crazy?
And while Trump's election marked many firsts for the president-elect, it also represented a block of many firsts for Vice President Harris. Had she won, she would have been the first woman to hold the office of president and the highest-ranking Black and Asian woman in American politics. But she lost and conceded the race this afternoon.
A fundamental principle of American democracy is that when we lose an election, we accept the results. That principle, as much as any other, distinguishes democracy from monarchy or tyranny. And anyone who seeks the public trust must honor it.
So let's talk about how we got to the results. The swing states of Georgia, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin flipped from blue to red. And Donald Trump secured 292 electoral votes compared to Harris's 224 by this morning. Harris did win the state of Minnesota with 51% of the vote. To get a clearer picture of what's behind those state numbers, we go down to the county level, where despite losing the state, Trump did flip some notable counties. And to show you where, we have Danny Spiewak on the show. Hi, Danny.
Hey, Jana. Trump flipped 4 counties red in Minnesota this year, including Blue Earth County, the home county of Tim Walz. It wasn't enough to carry the state of Minnesota for Trump, which hasn't voted for a Republican president since Nixon in '72. Still, Trump's gains may be a warning sign for the DFL party.
On election night, old friends of Governor Walz gathered in Mankato to cheer on their vice presidential candidate.
I think folks are able to relate to that kind of hometown feel.
They still remember Walz fondly from his days at Mankato West.
Small town Mankato, former high school teacher, football coach.
But their hopes for a Minnesota vice president evaporated when results showed the Harris-Walz ticket losing ground to Trump-Vance.
It's tense.
On his way back to the White House, Trump did not capture Minnesota's electoral votes, but he trimmed his margin of defeat here from about 7 points in 2020 to 4 points in 2024.
We got those votes to the polls.
In a major blow to Walz supporters, Trump even flipped Blue Earth County, where Mankato is the county seat, winning by fewer than 500 votes in the governor's old stomping grounds.
Walz in our area, from my experience in living here, is not exactly appreciated for what he thinks and takes us for granted for.
Yvonne Simon chairs the Blue Earth County Republicans.
How did you turn this county red this time around?
Like I said, a lot of hard work. We did a lot of phone calling, door knocking. What we were hearing in the campaign office was what you heard at the national level, too, which was economy, economy, economy.
In Minnesota, Trump managed to flip 3 other counties, Nicollet, Winona, and most notably Carleton County near Duluth, which hadn't gone Republican since Herbert Hoover in 1928.
I really think it speaks to the issue in Minnesota and nationally, where Democrats have, for some reason, have lost this kind of relationship with working class people.
Jeff Hayden is a Democratic strategist and former DFL legislator.
Especially in Minnesota, when the Democratic Farmer Labor Union is really part of our creed. And for whatever reason, it appears that our message is not resonating with that kind of, blue collar labor groups out there.
Trump's gains in Minnesota mirror trends nationwide, where Harris significantly underperformed compared to Biden in 2020.
We have to do some real work in listening to people and then articulating to them what our platform is and why we think is better.
Trump did better in Minnesota this election compared to 2020, but I should point out he was actually closer to winning Minnesota in 2016. That year, he lost to Hillary Clinton by fewer than 2 percentage points. Janet.
Yeah, it's getting very interesting in Minnesota on that national vote. Thanks so much, Danny. We appreciate it.